Welcome to the show, folks. We have an interesting one, to say the least, for you here. And it's brought to you by 1919 Root Beer.
Focus on that.
It is an American classic. I'd like to point out that says classic American, which this Chicago street race is definitely not an American classic. But this root beer is. And we're going to be wearing some shades because there's going to be a lot of people that probably will not like this opinion. But this will at least help block out all the people's opinions, because only my opinion matters on this show. And I'm a Kyle Larson fan, but we will keep it as neutral as possible. I also did watch that's a Bobby Hamilton Country Time Racing hat. If you don't follow Brock Beard, he is on YouTube. Check that out, because he's got some bangers, and he talked about the old country time, so it's a very interesting one. But let's get smack dab into this bad boy. So, my original thoughts on this whole weekend is I don't like it. I don't like it because of two reasons. One, it's not tradition. I would love for NASCAR to be in Daytona. That's where they need to be. We're not going into that detail, but that's where they should be. July. It's just in my brain as a NASCAR fan from my younger days. July 4th weekend, is Daytona. Kind of kicking off the second half of the season. So, I already have an issue with that. The second thing is street course. Not really a fan of it. I don't really think NASCAR needs to be doing this, but there's other people that think they should, blah, blah. It's irrelevant. I have grown on the second year to like it a little better, but I don't want them back for a third year. I don't know. I think they have an option to do that, but I don't want them there. If they want to do another street course, I'm fine with it, and I'm fine with it under two conditions. One, this street course does not fall on the 4th of July weekend. And two, they only go there twice, like 2 years in a row, and then they pick a different city. And they can go back to that city after they do 2 years of another city or whatever. But it's not fun. It's not exciting. But let's get into the race. First off, the race did not start at noon. We all know that. Unless you were over on California time. Then yeah, maybe it did. But it doesn't need to start on prime time. And the reason why it doesn't need to start on prime time is this prime reason. One, there's no lights there, so they can't race into the dark. And two, if you have any sort of rain like this and delays, and it takes them so long to go around the track, so there was almost a half hour of them just driving around at one point, which is ridiculous. So, all in all, they need to start sooner. And I know we won't get the noon as what we want it as race fans, because it's nice to be able to get up in the morning, kind of get your day going, watch the race, finish the race, and then do some fun activities, with your family or friends, and not waste the whole day away. So, but irrelevant. Hopefully NASCAR starts moving up the races more rather than just falling into TV time central, because that's what they do now. But to start the race off, I did very much enjoy that NASCAR finally gave the keys to the castle to the drivers. They got to decide what tires they wanted to put on. So I like that. I like that a lot. It should have been done the week before, or
For crying out loud, it was 2 weeks ago. Let's use our brain.
So, I like that. I like that a lot. I was really looking forward to a showdown with SVG, Kyle Larson. Um, Obviously, Christopher Bell would have been there too. Christopher Bell was arguably probably the strongest car. Ty Gibbs was up there too. He was, I would say, easily your top five cars were one. SVG was the fastest. He was the fastest. Then I'd probably say Christopher Bell. I'd probably give him the edge. Then it was probably between Kyle Larson and Tyler Reddick was coming on strong at the end, but I'm gonna give Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs and Kyle Larson were pretty close, and then Reddick would be probably your fifth fastest. So, and none of those guys won. So, the better car didn't win the race, which, hey, it was a little more exciting when Alex Bowman won, because I did enjoy that he did win, and he hasn't won in a while. It's hard to even say if he was even a top 10 car. He kind of hung around in the top 10 back half, so I don't know. Either way, good for Alex Bowman. Good for Alex Bowman fans. They haven't had a win in a while, so they got some excitement. And I did love the interview from Alex Bowman.
Man, I broke my back, had a brain injury, and we've kind of sucked ever since. And I didn't. You start to second guess if you're ever going to get a chance to win a race again. And last one we won, we didn't really get to celebrate. We're going to drink so much damn bourbon tonight. It's going to be a bad deal. I'm probably going to wake up naked on the bathroom floor again, but that's just part of this deal sometimes.
Classy. I like it. I like that a lot. But let's get into the nitty-gritty, more of the race itself. Obviously, the race started under wet-ish conditions. Even though I said in the beginning I very much enjoyed that NASCAR gave the teams the options, there seemed to be such little amount of water that was put down there. I kind of wish that they would have went out there with the jet dryers and just did one quick lap, a couple laps, or whatever. Just a quick blow off, even though there wasn't a lot of water. But it still worked its way out, so I'm not like really pissed about it, but I don't know, they could have did better there. And I'm always going to be harsh on NASCAR because they need to do better, because they don't do very good. And I'm here to push them to do better, because new fans that come into this sport deserve the best. And we have some of the best drivers and personalities out there. We just saw Alex Bowman open up more. Like, that's crazy. That's nice. That's wonderful. That's a good thought, feeling, emotional. Just, that's great. It's flippin' great. So yeah, moving on. The race continues on. Ty Gibbs takes the lead, pulls out ahead. Bell, who started, where did Bell start? I don't even know, in the top 10 somewhere.
For crying out loud, it was 7th.
He started charging the front. Kyle Larson fell back to 3rd. Reddick was 2nd, and SVG moved his way up into the 4th position. And then SVG passed Larson, started rocking his way to the front. Finally got to the front. When he did get to the front, he left those guys. Won that first stage, and then we were kind of setting ourselves up for, I don't know, something I would say pretty interesting, because it did start to rain towards that end of that stage, so they had to swap over the rain tires, and then it eventually got, red flags, stopped for a bit, and not that I'm against all this, because they were going to get started again. It's just, if this happens 2 hours earlier, the race happens 2 hours earlier, one, the race would have been done. It would have been all under wonderfully dry conditions, and that would have been such an awesome race to watch, with SVG, Christopher Bell, Kyle Larson, Ty Gibbs, and Tyler Reddick. Like, I don't know how that would have been such a cool race. Shane probably would have ran out with a huge lead, but who knows? Bell was trucking, and that's 2 years in a row that Bell has been snake bitten. Probably the best car, and doesn't come out with it. So, yeah, it just really frustrates me. But to go back on that, if it's 2 hours earlier and it starts raining like this, and they red flag it, yeah, we have a ton of time to get this going. And when they get it going again, guess what? We don't have that time delay. We don't have any of that. It's just we have time to do this. So they need to stop with these ratings and stop with this primetime bullcrap. At least for every race. If you want to do it on certain races, sure. Races with lights, sure. But I guarantee you, I will say it again, I guarantee you, they start this race at noon or 1 at the latest. This race gets done before that rain hits or right at the very end. So that makes it a little exciting. And then guess what? The race is done and over with, and the city can start doing whatever they're going to do to take it all apart. And all the people and fans that are at that track, they're going to do one of two things. One, they're either going to go back to their hotel or back home. Or two, they're going to go out. They're going to go out to the bars. They're going to go out to all the fun activities that they have going on out there. And not to say you can't do it now, like the race is over, but now it's dark. Now, no one's going to be going out there unless you're an adult. Like, none of the kids are going to go, you know what I mean? So it's just, it makes sense to do noon races. Noon races, NASCAR. Can I spell it out for you? I can. That's an N, that's an O, that's an O, and an N. And I'll die on that hill. So, overall, if they would have started that race sooner, we could have seen a whole race. We probably wouldn't have seen Alex Bowman win. So, people that are Alex Bowman fans, I'm sorry, you probably wouldn't have got him as the winner. But I think we would have had a overall better race. And maybe, just maybe, we could have convinced the people of Chicago that we can come back. Because that Xfinity race was really, really good. But overall, I don't think that's going to happen. So, and yeah, to finish this race up, they went back to green after that delay. It was wet out, very wet, and teams got going. I think it was Ty Gibbs that was holding his own in the front there. Bell went up there, took off, and Larson was trying to get by Ty Gibbs. He messed up, drove her into the corner a little too deep, couldn't stop, rammed into the outside barriers, and after that, then it was the Bell show, and then I don't fully understand all this strategy. Like, I get, and it's easier to say in hindsight that now looking back, Bell probably should have just stayed out or just not swap tires, but it never got truly dry. Like, it did at the very, very, very end. So maybe if Bell didn't have that incident with Martin Truex, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and Brad Keselowski, if they wouldn't have all got together and he wouldn't have got into all that, it's probably safe to say Bell did make the right decision then. But I don't know. I think he had a better car than Bowman, even if they're on the same set of tires, and he would have still had track position. So yeah, I don't know. In hindsight, it's easier to say that they made the wrong decision there, but yeah, it's unfortunate for Bell and Bell fans because two really good cars, year one and year two, and they get snake bit. So Bell is on fire. So he's someone to. Hopefully they can keep this fire going, because if they fall off this fire, it's gonna be unfortunate because they left a lot of points out there that they could have capitalized on, even though they've done well already. So, but yeah, so that was kind of the finishing. I think we had, let's see, so we had Bowman obviously winning, Tyler Reddick coming in second. Tyler Reddick so freaking close at the end there, like so close. He one mistake probably away from, honestly, he probably would have won. But that happens. Ty Gibbs, solid finish for him in third. Joey Han, I thought we were going to see another road course ringer win it 2 years in a row. That would actually have been really funny. But that obviously did not happen. Alex Bowman overtook him, and then we never saw or heard from him again. Michael McDowell, solid finish for them. Yeah, they had a kind of a rough day, starting off with the wets. Everyone that started off with the wets kind of sucked when laps down. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., after getting knocked around by Denny Hamlin and just kind of feeling like a ping pong ball out there, comes out with the top 10. Todd Gillen, wonderful. William Byron, who was a nobody this whole freaking race, pulls off a top 10. That's an amazing finish for them. Kyle Busch, wow, that guy has been in the hole, and he comes out with the top 10, so that's good momentum for them. Blaney, same thing. He was a nobody today and just came out with a solid top 10, so wonderful finish for them. It'll be interesting to see what the points are, since I'm recording this right after the race.
And here are the regular season points. We arguably have top four guys racing for 6 more weeks to see who can come out the regular season champion.
We'll see how these points stack up on this next race coming up here, because it is getting interesting who's going to win the regular season points. So, yeah, other than that, I would say it was a just another average race. I would maybe put it below average just because we lost the fact that SVG did not. We didn't get to see him, really do a lot. He kind of got just taken out. It wasn't even like an air of himself diving too far in a corner. It was just, and he was up front, so it wasn't even like he was just an unfortunate circumstance. I know we don't really talk about that, but I don't think we really need to. It's Chase Briscoe. Guy gets in his way more than he needs, unfortunately. So I hope he does better in the 19. But it seems like in general, when he has a good car, he pushes that car too far and costs him either the win, a really good finish. So it's very much like a Tyler Reddick, but Tyler Reddick has reined it in a little better, and at least gets good finishes. So. And I know I have nothing to talk about because I'm a Kyle Larson fan, but at least Kyle Larson has a lot of wins. So, other than that, it was an average to a below average race. I am looking forward not to going back to Chicago. The Xfinity race again outperforms the Cup race for its millionth time because the Xfinity car is better. So, other than that, you guys hopefully had a wonderful 4th of July. Make sure you go find Mustard Cats. We are on all social media, so that's your Facebook, your Instagram, TikTok, X, and don't forget YouTube. So go follow us on all those platforms. We got a ton of content coming your way, and it's not just NASCAR. We do all sports. So football is coming up. Baseball is happening now. So go subscribe, and looking forward to seeing all the comments from all the people. Good, bad, we don't care. And don't forget to go on to www.mustardcats.com and check out any cards or memorabilia you would love to swipe. Other than that, folks, have a wonderful weekday.
And we'll see you in Pocono.